So you want to escape your 9 to 5. Look, I completely get it. I don't think anybody really desires the idea of listening to somebody where you have to wake up here when you don't want to, get in a car to drive to this office that you don't want to, listen to this guy to do this certain thing that you don't want to do, just to then clock out at 5, 6 p.m. to drive home, be stuck in traffic, and then rinse and repeat that for the next couple of years until you die. I get it. Most people don't want to do that. So in this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how I was able to replace my income with OFM and escape it and live the life of just insanity. I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do every single day. Every day I wake up, I don't have to listen to some boss, some manager and ask him, can I have a little holiday? I need you to understand, I literally live in your dream holiday. And hopefully that pisses you off at least in some way or another, because this video, I'm just gonna tell you how you can do the same thing. And first of all, I want to share my story on how I was able to get here. So we'll go all the way back to my last 9 to 5, which was an estate agent, or for your Americans, real estate. I think that's what it's called, right? So basically, I was the guy that would show you around the house or the property that you wanted to buy. But I'm using this as a microphone, so I just checked. So I was the guy where you booked in a viewing for a property, and I would be the fucker that would meet you in my little suit, and I'd show you around the house. This is the kitchen, this is the bathroom. Bullshit. I hated it. It was boring. I hated it. I didn't really care. The pay was horrible as well. This is back in the UK, by the way. And I had to be in the office. I didn't enjoy it. I drove a shitty car. I lived in a house share. So I lived in, if you guys not from the UK and you don't know what house share is, it's basically just like a house, like a 4-bedroom house, and every person in the 4 bedrooms rents just the bedroom. And it's super cheap, and you guys share everything else. So you share the bathrooms, you share the kitchen, it's grim, right? You don't want to do that. But I done it because I was dead broke, right? I was a brokey. That's how I lived, and that's what I done for work. And the beautiful thing and I always had this mindset of like, I just got to escape. I got to do something for my own sake. So I'm able to travel and do whatever I want to do, right? I don't want to be stuck in this one little town doing this shitty job for the rest of my life. For this job in particular, I was very fortunate in the sense that I had like 4 viewings a day that I had to show people around, like 4 different houses. And then in between for the rest of the day, I had pretty much all the time in the world, right? I'd just sit in my car and wait for the next call to go show this guy around this house, right? Pretty much simple. So in between those times, I had a lot of time to sit in a car and watch loads of YouTube videos, like you're watching one right now, on how to make money, how to start a business, and so on and so on. So my first ever business was SMMA. It was a marketing agency. It was social media marketing agency. Now, the thing with those nowadays is super saturated. Like everybody has fucking tried to run a marketing agency. And most people are still trying, right? The problem is that, exactly what I just said. Most people are still trying. When everybody tries to do something, it becomes what's called saturated, which means there's more competition. When there's more competition, it's more harder for you to land a client and actually start making money, right? So the idea is that you want to find a business model that most people haven't caught onto just yet. So you want to be the first one, or one of the first. So then I started thinking, okay, well, what other business models are there? And to be honest, I actually stumbled across this without even meaning to. I was in Spain and I was seeing this chick who was doing OnlyFans at the time. Now, I knew what OnlyFans was, but I never really looked into it as a business model, of course, right? I just kind of knew what the word OnlyFans was and what happened on the website, but I never paid any attention to it whatsoever until she was showing me how much she was making, right? And I'm sure most of you guys have probably heard of OnlyFans models making crazy, stupid amounts of sums of money, right, per month. And it's true. And she was showing me how much money she was making. And I said, well, why don't you double it? Like, what's stopping you from making, she was making around 5,000 a month at the time. I said, what's stopping you from making 10,000, 15, 20,000? And she said 2 things, marketing and then the chatting, replying to all the messages. At this point, like I said, I had been learning and doing a lot of marketing. And I said, cool, well, I'm pretty sure I can help you with the marketing side of things. Let me just give it a go. And long story short, that enabled me to make enough money to now live life on my own terms, right? So OnlyFans management is something that you guys should at least look into. If you're above the age of 18 years old, you should at least look into it, because right now, it is exactly that business model that I was talking about where most people haven't caught onto just yet. Most people don't even know what OFM stands for. And then some people here and now have heard of the term OFM, and a handful have actually tried, and very, very few are actually still actively doing it, which means, my friend, you don't have a lot of competition. When the barrier to entry is fairly low and there's not much competition, that's the gold mine. And also, the third one, the third bonus, is if this business model and this industry is on an upwards trajectory. Let me give you an example. Something like the newspaper printing companies. that's pretty much on a downwards trajectory. There's not that much of a demand. Why did I say command? There's not that much of a demand for newspapers. So you can imagine if you're running a company that's prints newspapers and that's your fucking thing, your business is slowly, or the industry, maybe not your business, but the industry is on a decline. So that's the last thing that you want to do. You do not want to be in an industry that's on a decline. So OnlyFans is just getting more and more popular by the day. So the point of this video, how can you escape your 9-to-5 and live the life that you want to live, right? It's the most cliche thing, and everybody says this online, oh, escape your 9-to-5, escape the matrix and all this stuff, right? But the idea is, how can you replace your income that you're making right now from having to slave away from this 9-to-5 by doing something that you most likely want to do, or at least enjoy, and at least are able to do it from wherever and whenever. So OFM is the answer, right? So step number one, if you want to replace your income, you must first of all understand how much money must you be making at least bare minimum per month for you to at least survive. Then you take that number and you times it by 3. And then when you have that number in your bank account, then you can safely take that risk and quit your 9-to-5 and go all in, right? So I'll give you an example. What I was talking about is your break even. You must work out what is your break even. These are the things that you must pay on a monthly basis to just live. Do you understand? So these are things such as rent. If you pay for your car on a monthly thing, then that, even little things like haircuts, obviously food, how much you spend on that, any subscriptions that you just pay for on a monthly basis, right? Then once you have this thing tallied up, you add it up, whatever that number is. I think if I remember, for me back then, it was like £750. And that includes like a haircut, obviously rent. My rent was like £450 a month because I was living in a room. I was literally renting a room. So I lived like an absolute bum. Anyway, it was like 750 something pounds. I times that by 3, and then I understood, okay, this is the number that I must have in my bank account saved. Once I have that, I can then quit my job and then go all in with this online business. A couple more caveats that you must understand as well, because I don't want you guys to make the mistake, by listening to this video and be like, okay, Marcus said this, let me just go all in. The couple of other caveats that you must understand are what things are dependent on you. So let me give you examples. Do you have a mortgage? Do you have a child that is dependent on you? If yes, then obviously you've got to be careful. You can't just listen to what I just said there. You have this magical number and quit your job and go all in on this, because look, for some people, online business in general, just business in general, doesn't work out. I can't guarantee that you will make money. However, I have over 1,000 people who are in my community who are learning from me, who are making copious amounts of money. But I can't guarantee for every single human being on planet Earth that it will work for you, right? So I'm just giving you a heads up. If you have certain things that depend on you, like the ones I just mentioned, then obviously take these into consideration before you make that decision on quitting your 9-to-5. You have this number, you times it by 3, you have it in your bank account, fantastic. If you want to play it safe, which is my recommendation, before you make that decision on quitting your 9-to-5, you should already have this business running in the background, right? And you should already have a couple of clients and at least a little bit of money coming in, ideally that break even. So again, for me, it was like £765. So once you have that amount of money coming in from the side hustle, your business, and you also have the money saved, that's when you can quit your 9-to-5 and go all in. And you must do that. This is the biggest piece of advice I hope you can take away from this video. You must go all in. If you're one of these people that is trying to do a bit of both and half-assing it, one leg in, one leg out, fuck you, it's not gonna work, right? You must go all in. That's gonna be the fastest way, and it's also gonna increase your chances of success. When you go all in on something and you get obsessed with it and you make sure that your life depends on it, right? Like you should act like your life depends on it, especially if you're in your early 20s, right? You shouldn't have too many responsibilities. Like you shouldn't have a mortgage. You most likely don't have a kid. The chances are most likely not, right? And so on and so on. So you should go all in. So that's how you replace your 9-to-5 and you go all in. But don't be a dummy. Please make sure you obviously look at all of the other things that you must consider, such as, for example, mortgage, kid, whatever it is that you might potentially have watching this video. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to actually learn how to make more money with OFM particularly, check out more videos on my channel and also click the link in the description and I'll see you on there.